Hello, it's Adedoyin Jaiyesimi here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about building competence as a communications professional. We've all heard it before. Comes getting a seat at the table, getting people to value the work that we do. But the foundation of all of that is your competence, the skills that you have, what you are actually bringing to that table. Because I think some of us don't realize that the table is very hot and you must show up as your best professional self if you're going to get a seat at the table. So today I'm going to talk to you about the IABC Career Roadmap, and I'm also going to encourage you to take the career assessment. I did this career assessment in 2021 when I just joined the IABC, or was it before? I can't even remember, but I took it and it was very eye-opening. I saw that the areas where I was strong in, so where my strengths are in terms of my competence and my skills, and I saw the areas where I needed to grow and develop even further. And then I really liked the roadmap, and I'm going to show you the links. I'll put it as well in the description of this YouTube channel so that you can also go and look at the roadmap. It breaks your journey, your career journey as a communications professional, starting with the foundation level and ending up with being a trusted advisor. And it explains what it means to be at the foundation level and what it means to be a trusted advisor. And you can find yourself and say, where am I in my journey? Am I in the foundation stage? Am I in the generalist or specialist stage? Am I a strategic advisor? Or am I a trusted advisor? I'm mentoring a group of amazing young professionals for the next 3 months, and I had them do this career assessment, and it was very eye-opening. We talked through the roadmap, and I got them to think about where they are in their journey. When they did the test, I asked them, did they reflect where they thought they were professionally? And the answers were really interesting. So please, if this is the only thing you do for me after watching this video, go through the career roadmap and then take the assessment. But before I show you the assessment, because I want to walk you through what the assessment looks like, let's talk about what is in this career roadmap. So like I said, the starting point of the roadmap is the foundation level. And this foundation level is where you develop your initial knowledge, your skills. You're very green in the field. You have a lot of things to learn, and you have to work under supervision. You have to work under guidance. So if you're at the foundation stage and you find yourself working in an organization where you don't have a supervisor, they're expecting a lot from you, it can be really overwhelming. And that means that you have to find a way to shorten your learning curve. But if you're at the foundation stage, essentially, you are a beginner in your communications journey as a professional. So the next stage, when you move up from foundation, now the question I got asked by some of the mentees was, so how many years does it take to move from foundation to being a specialist or a generalist? Honestly, I would say that your foundation is probably the first 3 years. And then afterwards, it really depends on your drive, your hunger, because I learned on the job. I realized that I became a strategic advisor very early on in my career. And I didn't even realize that I was a strategic advisor until I came across this roadmap by the IABC. So don't get too hung up on number of years. It's more about where am I functioning, where do I fit in now, and what am I aspiring towards, because you can aspire towards something and achieve it earlier than maybe someone says, oh, it will take you 10 years to become a trusted advisor. It's possible for you to do it in 6, right? So don't get hung up on the number of years for each of the categories. What's more important is what are the essential features, what are the essential skills and competencies to operate on those different levels. So the next stage of the roadmap is the generalist and specialist. When you are a generalist, you have a broad approach to your career. So you're using your communication skills and expertise across different fields, different sectors. But when you are a specialist, you're now specialized in a role, you're specialized in an industry. So you're specialized in internal communications. For example, you decide that, you know what, I just want to do internal communications across different organizations that I work with. Or you say, you know what, I want to do communications, but only in the financial sector. But if you're a generalist, you can literally work across board. Another question that I get asked, and maybe I should do another video on this, is which is better, being a generalist or a specialist? I'm like, it's like saying which is better, ice cream or pizza. I don't know, it's whatever you like. But really, it's not about which is better, it's about what plan do you have for yourself? What is your goal? What do you want to achieve? And which of those would help you? Some people have found their niche in development communications and they're doing absolutely amazing. And I know absolutely amazing generalists. It really, really depends on you. I don't really think that there is a better. Maybe that's me. Feel free to share a contrary opinion. I just really think that it depends on your journey. And sometimes just experiment and see. I've known people that they wanted to specialize and they realized, I actually don't want to specialize, and they came out of that field. So I don't know that we should focus on which is better or which is not, but like I said, I'll do a separate video on that. So when you work as a generalist or specialist, you're now a bit higher, probably need less supervision depending on your number of years of experience, the type of organization that you work with, but you have a solid grasp of the communication principles, models, and frameworks, and you're able to apply all of those things again strategically. And you're also able to build relationship with different stakeholders. So you're becoming more confident in your ability to deliver as a communications professional. The next level after the generalist or specialist is the strategic advisor, which I always encourage communications professionals to aspire to: strategic advisor and trusted advisor. And you can be either of those two, either as a specialist or a generalist. When you're a strategic advisor, that's when you're operating in a more strategic, with a more strategic mind frame. You're thinking about the business. So it's not just about your role as a communicator, but you're thinking about the business. So if you've watched my strategic communications role, if you're thinking like that, then you're able to operate as a strategic advisor. So the IABC says when you work as a strategic advisor, you have strong leadership skills, you have broad business understanding, and then you also have diverse expertise. So it's not just about communications anymore. Leadership, it's business, it's you being able to help the organization to get to where they need to go. And then the final level is business leader. Now, this is where you're operating like a chief communications officer. So you have a mindset of the executive of the business, of almost like the CEO of the organization. And let me just say, I really want to see more communications professionals becoming CEOs. Yes, you have the CMOs becoming CEOs or the CFOs, COOs, but you hardly find communications professionals becoming CEOs. And it's at this stage of being a business leader, having a thorough and in-depth understanding of the business. And those of you that have been watching my videos, you know I'm always telling you, understand your organization, understand what brings value to the organization, understand how this organization makes money. Some of you may need to take finance for non-finance managers program. If you really desire this part, even if you work in a development sector, you really need to understand the development industry. You need to have a depth of understanding. That is when you can now begin to function at that very high level that puts you in the position where even when you get a seat at the table, they are actually listening to you and you're not there to take notes. So as a business leader, the IABC says you play a critical part in shaping the organization's future. I mean, it seems like comes people shaping the organization's future, but it is absolutely possible. So those are the four areas that have been identified by the IABC. So you have the foundation level, you have the generalist or specialist, you have the strategic advisor, and you have the business leader level. And at that point, the CEOs, the executives, they're looking up to you for advice, for counsel, and you can begin to coach them on that level. So I'm going to show you what the career assessment looks like. I'm going to open it up and run through it so that you can see how you can do yours. And it will be great if everyone that watches this video takes the time out to do this assessment. Okay, so before I show you what the IABC Career Assessment looks like, I'm just going to take you through the career roadmap that I spoke to you about. When you get on the IABC website, which is www.iabc.com, just click career, you'll see the career roadmap, and underneath there you would also see the career assessment. So they're in the same place, but this is what the roadmap looks like, and I tried to briefly explain the 4 different sections. And then when you click this view the career path button, this is the page that would open up, so you get to see it in fully. So if you're a student right now, because I know quite a number of students have reached out to me, you can see here the breakdown: core competencies, ethics, strategy, analysis, context, engagement, consistency. So you can benchmark yourself against this, and that's what we'll do in the career assessment. And then you can also see foundation, you can see the competencies. So when you go to the next step, it shows you. So it's very important thing for you to do as a professional that is really serious about reaching the absolute peak of their career in communications, and you can actually have a rewarding career. So please just go through it, go through the next steps, and look at all the things that they have written there. And then you have their business leader. So this video is for the assessment itself. So this is what it is. So the section 1 is about the background, privacy, consenting to them sharing with you your assessment. So you read all of that, and because if you don't click that part, you're not going to be able to do the assessment. So it is a self-assessment, and you have to be very honest with yourself, because if you're hoping to develop proficiency in a skill and maybe you are at number 2, you now put number 6 or 7, clearly by the end of the thing, it's going to tell you that you have proficiency or competence in it. Meanwhile, you're aspiring. So this is not about what you're aspiring to. It is where you are now. And so they broke down the scale from 1 to 7. So there's no proficiency, 0, and it's okay. No judgment zone. I always like being honest with myself, because when I'm honest with myself, I'm able to say, okay, Adedoyin, you need to improve here. We need to do this and that to close this gap there. So no judgment zone. If it's no proficiency, it's 0. If you are developing it, it's 1. If you are a novice, it's 2. If it's independent means that you've done this. And why I also like this assessment is it gives you a summary of each. So no proficiency means something you have not been exposed to or you're not doing yet. So crisis communications, if you've never done it before, that means your proficiency is 0. It means you have not been exposed to it and you're not doing it. Developing is that you are currently learning more about this, but you haven't actually really done it, but you've started reading up. So still on the crisis communications, maybe you've taken a crisis communications course, you've been reading books on it, you've been reading case studies. Then novice is you require assistance and supervision when doing this. So it's not something you've not mastered it. It's not something you can do alone. Independent means you've now done it a number of times. You've not yet gained absolute mastery, but you're not a novice. You can do it independently with little corrections here and there. So you've done it multiple times successfully without supervision. Intermediate is you've performed and executed the skill with more than acceptable pace and quality. So almost like, you can begin to do this from your sleep. And then advanced is you have done this on your own initiative in situation using multiple specialties, I beg your pardon. And that means that you are able to do that skill by yourself, but then you can apply it across multiple scenarios, multiple specialties. So you are advanced in that thing. So for me, that would be communication strategy. Accomplished, you have comprehensive knowledge and experience in doing this in multi-specialized environments. Again, for me, that's also strategy, because I have done it in different contexts, different environments. I have comprehensive knowledge on it, not just head knowledge. I've read the theoretical parts of it. I've done the courses, but I've applied it. So that is accomplished. And then mastered, where you really want to, again, for me. So I've mastered communication strategy, but the thing about mastered for me, maybe because for me, there's always something new to learn. I've mastered it, but I don't have that mindset of, I've mastered it and I can go to sleep. No, I've mastered it, but I'm always looking for things to still help me to have deeper mastery, if there's anything like that. So you have broad and in-depth knowledge and experience in doing this across multiple specialties and scenarios. So once we know that, it then tells you what to expect. So they will give you a report where they calculate the average of the proficiency ratings across the statements and all of that. And then you get to now see where you rated yourself the highest and where you can focus on for your development, which is why I said, please be honest with yourself. So let us start the assessment. I'm going to do this very generically, right? Because I just want you to see what it looks like. I really want you to take it, which is why I'm taking my time to do this. So question 1, as a communication professional, I have the knowledge to research, write, edit, disseminate, and evaluate communication to support an organizational goal. So maybe I'll put 2. I'm able to create, convey, and evaluate communication that serves as the voice of an organization as it interacts with stakeholders. Maybe I'm like, I've never done that before. That's gonna be one. So I won't move it. So I'll just leave it yet. So by default, it's on one. So I'll just leave it on one. And then I will go to next. Next is strategy. And then it explains that as a communication professional, I know the fundamentals of communication planning and basic project management. Let's say I'll say, you know what, I'm at 5 here. Then I can develop and implement a communication plan. I'm like, yeah, I'm intermediate here, I should be, or advanced, or like, this is not for me. This is me just doing a generic example. I understand various strategic communication models for my specific specialization or discipline. I'm like, yeah, sure. Can develop and implement a communication strategy and assist stakeholders to develop communication plan. I'll say 5. I know the principles of strategic communication. All these things are probably going to just click 5. Can advise on principles, processes, and techniques to generate outcome-focused communication. You might feel like, outcome-focused communication, maybe I've not really done, I'm not really sure about outcome-focused communication. So I'll put it at 4. And then understand how the elements of communication plan facilitate monitoring, adjustments, measuring of enterprise communication activities in presenting one organizational voice. Maybe I'll put 4, can prove, yeah. So you get the point, because I don't want this video to be too long. So it's same thing under analysis. Maybe I'll click 3, 3. So for every statement, just try and reflect. Where am I? Do I know how to follow research and measurement trends for specific aspects of business communication and statistical analysis? They're going to be like, eek, no, I'm going to leave it at 1. So maybe analysis and research, maybe the rest of it will be 2. We'll do that. Sorry, there's one I didn't click. Which one didn't I click? So it will do this. You have to select all the boxes. So it has given this response because I haven't made a selection for one. I guess maybe it's this one that I didn't move. Oh yeah, I just remember there's the no proficiency. So this one, you can even just decide and say, I don't have any proficiency in this. Which one is statistical models? And then next, okay, moving on to context. Same thing. So let's just say I put 4 for analyze, interpret trends, develop content for different communications platforms. Yes, I can do this. I can say 5, understand internal and external factors. So let's say for the rest of it, I'll just do a mix of 5 and 4. Please don't actually read through the statements and assess where you are. I just want to speed it up so that we get to the end. Understand when and how to optimize communication channels. Let's say I have a 4 here. Can use processes to engage different stakeholder groups. Maybe I'm at a 3. Maybe I'm at a 4 here. Maybe I'm at a 3. 3. Let's say 3. So let me just choose 3s down the line so that you can see then consistency. And you have to write edit content for different channel formats. Proofing, most people will probably be at a 6 for this one. Prepare, package, and monitor communication. Most people are probably at a 6. Understand artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and other evolving technologies that impact the organizational communication. Do you know that interestingly, so they've updated this assessment, this AI part, I don't remember it being there when I took mine. So this part, you might be like, oops, I don't got proficiency in that. And then maybe the rest is, I'm not going to read everything. 4, 5, let's say it's 5, 4. We click 4 again. We go to the next. So you can see that you have to take your time. Ethics. This ethics is something that we really need to pay attention to. So do you understand all the communication related laws and ethical codes in the industry? A lot of people are going to be either at 0, 1, or 2. Only very few people, because I don't know that a lot of people pay attention to that. And maybe I should also do a video on professional ethics and then apply the code. I mean, you can't apply what you don't know. So this will be 1. Building ethical code, let's say just 2. Create ethical campaigns, copyright, probability about 2. Know the legal implications. Yeah. So obviously, this assessment is going to show that ethics is something that will need to be developed. And then in which country do you work in? I'm a global professional, Jerry. I was going to put Nigeria, but let me just put Nigeria. Although I identify as a global professional, please write the name you would like to use for the report. Should I actually use my name? So I'm going to use Jane Doe because it's not Adedoyin's assessment. Submit my answer. So you can see it also shows you where you are. And then section 5, this is now where you see the results. So they've calculated everything, and according to the responses that I gave, or Jane Doe gave. Jane Doe is a generalist slash specialist, or she's in the generalist slash specialist section. And it then breaks down the proficiency levels. This is why I feel like this is really important. So you can see strategy is in advanced, analysis is in independent, context advanced, engagement is in intermediate, consistency is advanced, ethics is in low. So in terms of development, definitely need to work on ethics, definitely need to work on analysis, but then you know that, okay, there's still room to grow in strategy, room to grow in context, room to grow in engagement, room to grow in consistency. So based on the current assessment, these are the three areas Jane Doe feels more proficient. So strategy, and then it explains, yeah. So you can click it, strategy, context, consistency. These are the areas Jane Doe feels less proficient: ethics, analysis, and engagement. So that really does help to say, okay, how do I close the knowledge or skill gap in those areas? How do I build proficiency? How do I move from being a generalist slash specialist to becoming a strategic advisor or business leader? So that is how you begin to think about it. But do this assessment, and I really believe you find the results eye-opening. So I hope that you found that really, really useful. Like I said, this is a useful assessment to take, and it helps you to know what are your strengths, what are the areas of weakness, what are the areas that you need to develop, and you can then begin to work on it. So please take the time out to take this assessment. If you do take it, it would be nice for you to send it to me. You can drop me a message on LinkedIn or put a comment in this video that I have done the assessment, so that I know how many people are actually doing the assessment. If you feel like maybe the results are not what you think they should be, and you would like to have a conversation with me about your results, please feel free to book a one-on-one session with me, and I'll be happy to speak about your results. I hope that we all can be committed to developing ourselves professionally, so that we raise the standard and raise the bar for communications professionals, so that they know that we are people that we know our stuff, and we are people that have absolutely great value to bring to the table. You can tell that I'm so passionate about this, and it's my desire to see comms professionals across Africa getting the recognition, respect, and pay that they deserve. So before I start yapping away, thank you so much for watching, and remember, stay connected. If you have any further questions, you can connect with me via email, you can connect with me via the chat section of the YouTube channel, or you can send me a DM on LinkedIn or Instagram, and I'll be very happy to answer. Bye.